In this video, I want to talk about 7 private details narcissistic parents share about your life. Private information they expose to get attention and control how others see you. These violations shaped how you see yourself in childhood and still destroy your sense of privacy and boundaries and respect today. Most people think this is just family gossip. But after 4 decades of helping families heal, I can tell you it's much deeper than that. It's about control, and it's about demeaning or lessening a child. By the end of this video, you'll understand why behind their behavior and how to start setting the boundaries you weren't allowed to have as a child. Number 1. Your narcissistic parents shared your embarrassing childhood moments for entertainment or to be funny. Growing up with narcissistic parents, your most vulnerable and embarrassing moments became their favorite stories at family gatherings or even other events. They would share details about potty training accidents, crying episodes, tantrums, mistakes, foolish choices, bad relationships, and childhood fears, laughing while you stood there humiliated. They would share these stories saying things like, "You just should have seen them. It was hilarious." And they were such a mess as a child, while you stood there red-faced. They shared these details to get laughs, appear relatable as parents, maybe even have a one-up situation with you, that you're getting this attention. Well, I can just kind of pull you down a little bit with these stories because I have that power. They also may want to bond with other people in the group at your expense. This was using your humiliation as entertainment rather than normal family storytelling. Normal family storytelling involves you being a part of the story, not you being the point of the story in an embarrassing way. For making fun of me, you and I both must be in on the joke, not just you at my expense. And many people don't realize that. They're going, "Well, I was just joking." Yeah, but I wasn't in on the joke with you. That's when it's hurtful and painful. This pattern from your narcissistic parents still runs your life today. It triggers emotional reactivity, where your family programming hijacks your true self and drives your thoughts, feelings, and actions. You either overshare your own embarrassing moments to beat others to the punch or the joke, or you become hyper private and won't share anything real about yourself. Which one are you? Let me know in the comments below. Share that. You protect everyone else's dignity in conversations and would never embarrass them publicly. But you let your own boundaries around what's shared about you get violated over and over. This certainly can happen with couples. A husband shares something embarrassing about his wife just to be funny or cute with the guys. The wife may share something that could be embarrassing or a fault in some way of her husband, and again, we have a problem. A partner may share something about their partner, and again, that's supposed to be funny, but the other partner just doesn't feel like they're a part of the joke. They feel like they're the butt of the joke. Number 2, narcissistic parents discuss your weight, puberty, looks, and body publicly. As a child, your narcissistic parents treated your body as public property. They discussed your weight, puberty, physical development, breast growth, bodily functions in front of relatives, friends, and even strangers. They would comment in front of everyone saying, "Look how much weight they've gained. Their acne is really bad now. And can you believe they need a bra already?" They shared these intimate details to appear concerned, get sympathy, trying to be cool, or dealing with a difficult phase, or maintain control over how you saw yourself, simply because they didn't view your physical privacy as real. Now, as an adult, your family system still dictates how you relate to your own body, your struggle with your body image, and feel exposed and uncomfortable in your own skin. That's the borrowed self. When your sense of self comes from your family or others rather than from within. You can't trust your own experience of yourself. You're careful never to comment on others' bodies, and you fiercely protect their privacy, but you accept invasive comments about your own appearance, weight, and development as if you have no right to bodily privacy. Here's a tip I might suggest. And I had a mother who would often comment about my weight and the weight of other siblings. And she would do it in public, and she'd do it at family gatherings in a show of being concerned or shaming us into changing our diet habits. I might respond in a public setting if mom were to do that or a parent were to do that. You know, you're right, mom, about me gaining some weight lately. But I would have thought it and not said it out loud. Please don't do this again. Thanks. And I would say it for all to hear. Number 3, narcissistic parents revealed your income and salary to take credit for your success. Your narcissistic parents tracked what you earned and later shared details about your salary, raises, and financial success with relatives and friends. And I think about all those dysfunctional families whom stalk their own children to get more information on them. At family gatherings, they would boast saying things like, all because of what I did for them. And look what my parenting created. And they wouldn't be anywhere without the sacrifices that I made. My little boy has made good. Now, don't get too big for your britches. They broadcast these private financial details not to celebrate you, but to take credit. They share your income to feed their own ego by taking credit and boosting their own sense of self and image as the perfect parent, while completely neglecting your right to financial privacy. This pattern from your family of origin still haunts you. You hide your financial success and downplay your earnings, fearing it will be used against you, and you feel obligated to share financial details with family as if you owe them access. Also, there are many families who are narcissistic who might want to be dependent on you if you have some resources and money. And so they ask about these things so they can store that away for future discussions or needs. You respect others' financial privacy and would never ask invasive money questions, but you direct shame and discomfort toward your own financial boundaries, still believing your money isn't truly your own. That's the family super self, the self that your family needed you to be, still running your life. And if you can't identify the family super self inside you, you can become the person you always wanted to be. You respect others' financial privacy and would never ask invasive money questions, but you direct shame and discomfort toward your own financial boundaries, still believing your money isn't truly yours. That's the family super self, the self your family needed you to be, still running in your adult life. And if you can't identify the family super self inside you, you can't become the person you always wanted to be. Let me share another tip. Somebody says, or a parent or a sister or brother, well, I see you got a promotion. How much did that increase your salary, Jerry? Well, hey, thanks for mentioning my promotion. I'm very excited. My salary increase is a fair compensation for the added responsibilities. And leave it at that. Or you could also say, I'd prefer not to discuss the details. But I'm your father. I know that, Dad, but I prefer not to discuss the details. Number 4, your narcissistic parents share details of your romantic relationships to control the narrative and maybe even control your relationship life. Narcissistic parents treated your dating life, crushes, breakups, and relationship struggles as gossip material and often would be intrusive. They would share details about your heartbreaks, who you were interested in, fights with partners, and relationship problems with extended family and even friends or strangers without your permission. They shared these intimate details to maintain control over how others perceived you and their image as a parent. and keep you from having relationships they couldn't monitor and influence. Those who have grown in healthy families cannot understand your experiences because their privacy was never violated like this, or like how your privacy was violated. This violation from your narcissistic parents still impacts your adult romantic life. You struggle to share relationship details even with trusted friends, or you overshare everything seeking validation for your relationship choices. You may hide new relationships from the family completely, or you may break up with people the moment the family disapproves because you're still fused with their opinions. That's fusion. That's enmeshment. You lose your identity in someone else's emotions and expectations. You protect your partner's privacy and would never expose their vulnerabilities to others, but you don't expect the same protection for yourself. You're not doing any of this intentionally, but this is how the system trained you to have control over you. Number 5, narcissistic parents exposed your failures and mistakes to shame you. Growing up, your narcissistic parents shared your failures, mistakes, grades, and disappointments with extended family and their social circles. They would tell everyone about your poor test score, getting cut from the team, and losing a competition. They would announce to everyone, my daughter's failed another test, and my son didn't make the team again, and I don't know what we're going to do with them. They need you to keep making mistakes to keep the family's image maintained. They had to share these private struggles to shame you into performing better, weaponize your failures for control, and position themselves as the victim of your failures and suffering parents as they're dealing with a difficult child. Now, as an adult, you can be the most successful person in the room, but still your family programming dictates how you handle mistakes and failures. You try to hide struggles completely, terrified of judgment, and you preemptively confess every misstep to control the narrative before someone else does. You celebrate others' attempts and normalize their mistakes with compassion, but you direct perfectionism and brutal self-criticism toward yourself whenever you fall short. If you're feeling the weight of these family patterns and want to finally get them out of you, join my free 84-minute self-differentiation training to help you start unplugging from the family system and reclaim your true self. Number 6, narcissistic parents disclose your mental health struggles to gain attention. This one is very important. Growing up, your narcissistic parent shared details about your anxiety, depression, panic attacks, ADD, ADHD, OCD, hoarding, and or other emotional struggles with extended family and neighbors. I know one that was shared often was how messy my bedroom was. And no one ever thought what might be some of the dynamics as to why my bedroom was so messy. It was just my failure. It had nothing else to do with family dynamics, and that would be shared often. Even though the family system itself was the major cause of all of these struggles, still they would say things like, I don't know what's wrong with them. And we've done everything, but they're just so difficult. They framed your mental health as a burden. They heroically managed to deflect from their own role in your struggles. Today, you may either hide your mental health completely and refuse therapy and support, or you overshare your struggles online with acquaintances desperately seeking validation. You support others' mental health journeys with compassion and strict confidentiality, but you direct stigma and judgment towards your own emotional needs, still believing your struggles are shameful. These are systems feelings, the automatic conditioned responses you feel on cue that aren't your true feelings. They're not coming from your authentic self. Let me share another tip. You can share with your parent or parents, these are things for me to share. In other words, you can tell them, I think those are better if you leave for me to share those things. rather than you. I would appreciate that. Of course, I can't monitor, mom or dad, who you share what with, but if I hear this is happening, I'm afraid I will be sharing very little of my life going forward. Number 7, narcissistic parents disclosed private family conflicts and blamed you publicly. Narcissistic parents shared private family conflicts, arguments, and household dysfunction with extended family, friends, or even neighbors, but positioned you as the cause. They would tell others things like, everything was fine until they started acting out. And they're the reason we can't have peace in the house today. And we're exhausted trying to deal with them. They shared these private details to justify their treatment of you, control the narrative about the family dysfunction, and ensure everyone saw you as the problem, and not the family and not them. This false narrative became public knowledge. And even in adulthood, this same false narrative, this family programming, automatically makes you assume you're the problem in any conflict and apologizes. And even in adulthood, the same false narrative, the family programming, automatically makes you assume you're the problem in any conflict and apologize even when you're not at fault. You protect others from blame and take responsibility for group dysfunction, but you direct all the fault, guilt, and scapegoating towards yourself. If you're ready to finally break free and start living with clarity, peace, and a grounded connection to your true self, then join my Road to Self program. Many who have joined say it was the missing piece in their healing journey, the step that finally helped them get their family out of them and stand strong as their true self. Go and read the testimonials. All of them are absolutely genuine and real. We don't put up any fake testimonials. And I think you'll see and hear what people are saying about how the program has helped them, because the program so helped me.